Hello and welcome to Spectrum TV News at 4. I am Francis Oyima Edit, coming to you live from the capital city of a 500,000 families will receive 8,000 naira for 6 months. Senate confirms nomination of service chief. We'll bring you details of the stories and more in a moment. Many thanks for joining us. We begin with the #1 citizen of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as a result of subsidy removal. In a letter to the House of Representatives read by Speaker Tajuddin Abbas during plenary, Tinubu said it was designed to enable indigent and vulnerable Nigerian people to cope with the cost of meeting basic needs. Of the process, he said, digital transfers would be made directly to beneficiaries' accounts. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has met with the acting chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC), Abdul Karim Chakol, at the Aso Villa in Abuja. The meeting occurred about 4 weeks after the president suspended Abdul Rashid Bawa indefinitely as the anti-graft agency bust on June 14. The Director of Information Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Wali Basi, said Bawa to the Director Operations in the Commission, Abdul Karim Chakol. To the Senate, where the Senate today confirmed the nominations of service chief newly appointed by President Bola Tinubu. This followed the screening of the top brass by the upper chamber. Senate President Godswill Akpabio said during the closed-door session, the service chiefs and Senate requested that the red chamber confirm the service chiefs. The Senate, upon resumption of plenary today, started the screening of the service chiefs, with each of them mounting the podium to speak on how they will tackle insecurity in the country. Major General T.A. Lagbaja, Chief of Army Staff, Rear Admiral E.A. Ogala, Chief of Naval Staff, Air Vice Marshal H.B. Abubakar, Chief of Air Staff, IGP Kayode Egbetokun, Acting Inspector General of Police, Major G23. Exactly 3 weeks after his inauguration, Tinubu removed all service chiefs in Nigeria and appointed new ones whom he directed to resume with immediate effect. To the Green Chambers, the approval followed the request of Tinubu for 500 billion naira for palliatives to Nigerians to reduce the hardship caused by subsidy removal. Recall that the amendment after members of the House made contributions. On judicial matters, Hamza Muazu of the Federal Capital Territory High Court Abuja has issued a one-week ultimatum to the Department of the State Security Service (DSS). The judge issued the order while delivering ruling in a fundamental human rights suit instituted against the DSS and others by Emefiele. The judge said Emefiele has not shown that his arrest and investigation is unlawful, but noted that it is within his right to get fair hearing. Justice Muazu further stated that the suspended CBN governor cannot remain in detention without a formal charge, adding that the DSS cannot use the period of Emefiele's detention to search for evidence against him. Indigenous people of Biafra against the Department of State Services. Justice James Omotosho, in a judgment, held that Kanu's suit lacked merit and ought to be dismissed. Reports say Kanu, in the suit filed by his lawyer, had sued the Director General of DSS, and the Attorney General of the Federation as first to third respondents, respectively. In the suit, the IPOB alleged that the DSS subjected him to different inhuman treatment, including denying him his right to wear any clothes of his choice. He therefore sought an order directing the respondent to allow him to put on any clothing of his choice while in the facility or when appearing in public, among other reliefs. In the meantime, the Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Ibadan has dismissed the last petition by the Allied People's Movement (APM) against the election of Oyo Governor Seyi Makinde. The tribunal also awarded 1 million naira cost to the second and third respondent petitions who always file what they describe as frivolous petitions. Recall that the petitioner APM on Tuesday filed to withdraw its petition as another development. Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission (ICPC) says it has recovered 454 billion naira looted public funds and secured 90 convictions in a lot. This closes at an event in Ede to mark this year's African Union Anti-Corruption Day. In his presentation titled Highlight of the Commission's Achievements in the Fight Against Corruption in Nigeria, Bakare said the recoveries were made through funds restrained, tax intervention, cash recovered from domiciliary accounts, rent received from some properties forfeited to the government, budget tracking. Overwhelming victory of the March 18, 2023 gubernatorial elections, Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Omoino yesterday visited Ikorekpene Senatorial District to appreciate the stakeholders and people of the district for their support, which culminated in Senatorial District Obong Michael Afangide, who noted that he was not enough for their support during the electioneering period, reiterated that all the 31 local government areas in the state will benefit from his government, as he will ensure that they are touched with projects. In his remarks on concluded polls, stated that the visit was in fulfillment of the promise made by the governor that he would appreciate the people once elected. Also speaking on behalf of the stakeholders of the Senatorial District, Senator Emmanuel Iboresien thanked the governor for keeping to his words and assured him of their unflinching support throughout his government. On his part, will work assiduously to ensure that he has a smooth 8 years run and hand over to Ikorekpene Senatorial District after his 8-year tenure. High point of the event was the presentation of gifts to the governor, his wife, and the deputy governor, Akone. Meanwhile, Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Omoino has expressed appreciation to his colleagues in the People's Democratic Party (PDP) Governors Forum dispensation, saying that the gesture is an expression of the confidence bestowed on him by his colleagues. Governor Ino was speaking on the recent meeting of PDP Governors Forum held at the Akwa Ibom Lodge, Abuja, during his interaction with Government House correspondents on his arrival at Victoria International Airport, Uyo. He ascribed the gesture to the Good Foundation. The governor expressed appreciation to his colleagues for sustaining a legacy and particularly thanked them for honoring the invitation for the meeting, which he said had enabled them to chart a way forward for the forum. Move now to Africa, where the UN Refugee Agency UNHCR has urged Ghana to halt the expulsion of refugees from Bakilden have been deported from Ghana after fleeing there to escape violence in their homeland. The agency added that it was ready to provide more support to Ghana to address the needs of refugees. Still in Africa, the Rapid Support Forces (RSF) and allied militias has reportedly denied any role in recent violence in West Darfur, slamming allegations by Human Rights Watch HRW that they waged a massacre. According to HRW, 28 members of the Mansalit tribe were killed and dozens of civilians were injured. As Ibrahim said, the clashes in the town were part of an ongoing civil war between local tribes and the Mansalit tribes. Ibrahim said the RSF had no base in Mysteria and accuses HRW of relying on biased sources without evidence. On a foreign scene, Sweden has said that it will simplify and speed up deliveries of defense material to Ukraine. According to a statement from the Swedish government, the country's defense minister, Paul Jansson, signed a protective security agreement with Ukraine at the NATO summit in Lithuania. It noted that the agreement makes it possible for Sweden and Ukraine to exchange confidential information concerning test flights of just agreed an agreement with Ukraine which will enable the embattled country to purchase defense material directly from the industry with shorter delivery times. Still on the foreign scene, Ukraine authorities have said that at least 2 people have been injured in an overnight Russian drone attack on Kyiv. According to the Ukrainian Air Force, 20 Iran-made drones were shot down over the city's airspace. 2 Russian-caliber cruise missiles fired from a ship in the Black Sea were shot down by the armed defenses, while information about the impact of an Iskander ballistic missile fired from Crimea was still being collected. Authorities added that debris was reported in 5 districts and at least 2 people were sent to hospital with shrapnel wounds. Martini is glad to join Barca after suffering against them. To stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. We move on to the rest of the news stories. In business, the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) has said Nigeria's National Money Transfer Operators (IMTO) and the general public, signed by the Director, Trade and Exchange Department, Dr. O.S. Naji. It stated that further to the circular, the Central Bank of Nigeria announces Naira as a payout option for receipts of proceeds of international money transfers. Still in business, the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority (NMDPRA) has announced that a new gas pricing template for the power sector and gas-based industries has been developed and currently awaits the approval of President Bola Tinubu. It was also revealed that the legacy gas debt of the power sector to gas suppliers in Nigeria had risen to about $1 billion as efforts were ongoing to finalize the figures and find a comfortable way in addressing the debts. Speaking during the inauguration of the Decade of Gas, E.D. Ubong said it was important for the government to clear the gas debt in order to boost investors' confidence in gas investments. Reports say the Decade of Gas is an initiative of the federal government that seeks to deepen domestic gas usage across the country within a 10-year period from 2021 to 2030 based on the enormous gas reserves in Nigeria that stood at over 206 trillion cubic feet. To health, where the federal government says it has enrolled 500 persons living with disabilities (PLWD) into the National Health Insurance Scheme (NHIS) to enhance their access to quality healthcare services. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Social Development, Dr. Sani Gwanzo, according to him, the move will ensure affordable healthcare coverage for PLWDs across the country. Still in health, medical experts have said that pre-implantation genetic testing technique (PGT), which ensures the deficits. The experts noted that with the latest technological breakthrough, congenital disorders including albinism, Down syndrome, autism, spectrum disorder, and diseases such as sickle cell can be detected in the embryos during IVF and would not be implanted in the uterus. Meanwhile, a laboratory technician at Abuja-based expanded to prevent the birth of children affected by a number of genetically lethal and other congenital diseases. Dr. Ndukwe, who said there is no doubt that PGT has helped associated with late-onset diseases and increased but not absolute disease risk. To sports now, where Everton have signed free agent Everton's first signing on their manager Sean Dyche and has joined the club on their pre-season training camp in Switzerland. The English professional footballer has played over 700 career games for club. Still in sports, Barcelona's new defender Inigo Martinez said he was glad to join the team he was regularly suffered against at his presentation today. The 32-year-old Spanish centre-back arrived on a free transfer from Athletic Bilbao last week and admitted Barcelona until 2025 and said it was an easy choice, highlighting the appeal of working under coach Xavi Hernandez despite the club's financial situation. Wizkid had submitted his latest album, More Love, Less Ego, for the 16 Hades nomination but got declined. Recall that Wizkid was reportedly missing from the nominees list, and his absence from the list sparked reactions on social media, especially as he dropped a new project in the year under review. Meanwhile, Nigerian singer Ahmed Ololade, better known as Asake, has set a new record as the debutant artist with the most Hades nominations. Asake snuck also made history in the process as the first artist to be nominated in both the Next Rated and Best Male Artist of the Year simultaneously. Still on entertainment, the Guinness World Record (GWR) has warned Nigerians against making during a Twitter exchange with a Nigerian who tweeted to inform the body about her intention to attempt 2 record-breaking feats. The warning is coming days after the World Records body advised Nigerians to apply for confirmation before attempting to break any records. Reports say after Hilda Bassi's 100-hour cookathon challenge in May, many other Nigerians caught this syndrome and started off a deluge of breaking the world records. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do ensure to follow us on social media and subscribe to news at 4. I am Francis Oyima, edit. Many thanks for being there and do enjoy the rest of your day.